In this video, we're going to be finding the slope of this blue line on the graph using the two marked points, okay? So these 2 points here. Now, because we're not told the coordinates of the points, that's the first thing we need to do is to read the coordinates of the points off ourselves, okay? So let's start with this top point. Okay, so first we need the x value. It's right on the y-axis, which means x is equal to 0, okay? And let's see, on the y-axis, if we go down, because we're past the x-axis or below the x-axis, that means that our point is going to be a negative y value. So this would be -1, -2, okay? Now, let's look at our second point. It's the same thing. It's also on the y-axis. So the x value is once again 0. And let's see, if this was -2, then this is -3, and that's -4, okay? So there we go. We have our 2 points. Now that we have 2 points, we can use our formula for the slope, which is m is equal to delta y over delta x, which just simply means y sub 2 minus y sub 1 is divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now this seems simple, except now we need to identify these points, right? What is x sub 1? What is y sub 2? Okay, well this information is coming from these 2 points, okay? So let's call this first point, point 1. That means that the x portion of the coordinate, so the x coordinate is going to be x sub 1, okay? So we have x sub 1 is equal to 0. Now, it follows that this would be y sub 1, right? So y sub 1 is going to equal -2. And we're going to do the same thing with our second point, except now we're going to be finding x sub 2, right? So x sub 2 is the x coordinate, which is 0. And y sub 2 would be this y coordinate, which is -4. Okay, now we can take these values and substitute them in to our formula. So y sub 2 is -4, and that subtracts y sub 1, which is -2. Make sure you put this one in a bracket because we have a negative here, right? So it's important that these two negatives both stay there or we're going to get a different answer. Okay, so we're going to have x sub 2, which is 0, minus x sub 1, which is also 0. Now, we need to stop for a second because something's going on here that's not okay. Let's quickly simplify and see what we get. -4 minus -2. So we have to multiply these two negatives together, and that's going to give us a positive, right? When we have two signs that are the same, you multiply them, they're always a positive. It doesn't matter if they're two negative signs, two positive signs. So this is -4 plus 2. So this is going to be -2 over 0. Now, in math, when we have a fraction and we have a 0 on the bottom, it does not exist. This does not exist. So what this means is the slope of this line does not exist. Okay? There is no slope to this line. If you would like to learn how to quickly study for your GED exam online and get a new resume, then visit testprepskills.com.